What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Secret Filmmakers Society Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Joshua Tubbs, alongside
boy Jay Wills, and we're here obviously to talk to you about being a young creative. Actually, not even just young, but just being a creative in general. Just navigating your way through this world, and yeah, you know, let's get to it. We got some questions that we gotta answer. Got some viewers, some listeners that got a few things that they want to ask. So Josh, take it away.
All right, yeah. So last week we talked to you guys about, you know, jumping into this game, freelancing full time, and we gave you guys some tips and stuff that we thought would work well. And we asked you guys, hey, shoot, what do you guys have like encountered or some tips that maybe we kind of like left out or something, right? So we have Louis Films, and that's Films with a 5 at the end. He said, great podcast, super helpful. Thank you, Louis. Something that I've learned that I could pass on to other freelancers is always get a deposit. You never want to be at risk of being left out of pocket. Looking forward to the next podcast. He's right. Is he wrong or is he right?
No, he's not right. Nah, he's not. Yo, my
What he meant to say was you were right.
Nah, he's not wrong. But I mean, there comes a point where you gotta realize some people, some companies, some clients, they're not gonna give you the deposit, and that's just based off of certain things. But you know, it's always good to have a contract written out so that they do have some type of agreement, especially for like the bigger clients. I know, like, you know, can't really say any names right now, but like if you're doing something for a company and they're like, yeah, this is how much we're gonna pay you, and you're like, all right, cool, here's a deposit, and you're like, what? No, like, we're gonna pay you. And it's like, it's a big enough company that, yeah, you have faith that they'll pay you. Just have a contract written up. Expect to get paid within 30 to 60 days after the invoice is sent out, though. It is a long time, but you'll get paid. But for, like, obviously, I don't want to say smaller because I don't want to categorize someone as smaller than the next person. People get offended by that. But like, there are going to be the clients, like, always put it out there. That's like, yeah, I want a deposit. Also know yourself, know where you're at career wise to be asking people for a deposit. And yeah, you got to just follow up on your end as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's some good tips. And you know what? Getting deposit is a good thing too. Like, again, yeah, if you're working with someone that is like not the caliber of a huge company, definitely I'd say get that deposit, because you don't want, you know, someone to try to scam you. There are people out there that might try to scam you or chip you off. And, you know, if you're working with someone that you don't trust, and not even just trust, just for like the fact that maybe have the money in your pocket. Because again, there might be some stuff you might have to buy. Shoot, if you got to buy another lens or rent something, that deposit will come in handy to like pay that off, so you're not coming out of pocket. But yeah, man, that's thanks for the tip, Louis Films. And you know, we shared it with everyone else out there, so you know, grab a deposit or don't. It's up to you guys, but can always be safe. Put in the contract. The next one we got that was from last week's episode was from Divine Shot. He said, great podcast, guys, and thanks for responding to my comment from the previous. You are welcome. And he said a problem he ran into. Okay, this is a story, bro. He said he ran into a problem with a client and he was having to charge him after shooting for free. Long story short, he started shooting videos 8 months ago and he was the first artist he ever shot a video for. And he's grateful that he let him do that. But at the end of the day, he needed to start making money, and he upgraded his equipment. And he was starting to have people contact him for videos. So he said that the artist didn't like that because he kept saying he had gotten the work for him and blah, blah, blah. So basically he's trying to say that he's the one that like got the work because like he's helped him shoot his first free music video. So that got him all his clients, and that he should always shoot for him for free now.
I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but that's bullshit.
It is. And he's like, needless to say, we don't speak anymore, but anyways, charge for your work because like you guys said, they're making money off your work. Yeah, you're saying that's bullshit?
Okay. This is very uncensored on this side of the chair. But yeah, that's complete bullshit. I understand that, like, yeah, you started shooting with him. You guys might have a relationship established, and you being a creative might have some type of relationship established with whoever you're shooting with, but that doesn't mean that you're forever shooting for free. I have my own relationships with people, and I understand their capacity because we've both grown together. So it's like understanding their capacity and them also understanding and respecting me and my time. And like I said, you guys have grown together with the hope that, you know, that is what has happened, that like that person should have respect for you and seeing, you know, the steps you're taking to get better, the things that you're doing that requires for your work to look better. And when you tell them, or even out of excitement, out of like whatever reason, you tell them like, hey man, I made an upgrade, they should be like, oh sick, that's nice. Like, all right, what was the damage? And then they should like always have that in the back of their head, like, all right, cool, you made the upgrade, your work has gotten better, you're not just doing this for trials and tribulations and just for fun anymore. This isn't a hobby, this is something you do. Let me find some type of like, you know, dignity to pay you. Like why like how does that person go to sleep at night knowing like, cool, this guy's doing a free video for me and he's working his ass off, he's fucking blood, sweat and tears right now to get my stuff done, but I'm like, what are you doing to benefit them? Like, how are you helping them keep the lights on? How are you, like, you know, are you sheltering that person? Unless like you're sheltering, feeding and like buying me stuff, sounds like, anyways, yeah, then like, yeah, like you're not entitled to free work forever. And at the end of the day, that's still on me as the creative if I want to give you free work. I don't know, that's just my take on it.
Because that guy kind of sounds super shady. Like the fact that he's trying to like keep him like, yo bro, listen, now that you got clients, I stay free forever. Like that's kind of super shady. Cause
still like, yeah, it's still my time. So now it's like, you know, all right, cool, give me free work, do free work for me. But after, it's like, as soon as I get a job that there's a budget, I'm sorry, but like I'm gonna go take that budget job and I'll tell you like, yo, when I'm free. And then after, even when it comes down to editing, it's like, hey, when I'm free, you know, cause there's no way that I'm gonna be like putting free work ahead of paid work. Yeah. Like, you know, that person's paying, that person's supporting me. Like, regardless if they know me or not, them paying is a form of supporting me. Like, you know, they're supporting my dreams, my vision, and, you know, my creative talent.
Yeah, man, that guy just sounds kind of super shady. He just wants to keep you shooting him for free. Honestly, that's just someone that's like, hey bro, listen, I got you your first gigs now and you're getting stuff, listen, I should be free all the time. Like, he wants some lifetime supply of videos. Sorry, it doesn't work that way, bro. So honestly, the fact that you guys don't talk anymore, I see why someone like that, like Will said, he should at least have the decency to be like, shoot man, like, all right, let me pay this guy, he's upgrading, he's paying for stuff. But we're glad that you got that taken care of and like moving on. And yeah, like you said, charge for your work. Thank you guys for all those questions. That was perfect. You know, thank you for leaving your comments and being engaged within the whole podcast. We are actually got a question that we're going to address before we jump into today's topic. We had Tori Tatter ask that, hey, I hope you're doing well. Thank you. We are. Are you doing well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing well.
She's like, I wanted to ask you a question. I want to become a professional editor, but it's hard to get footage to work on as I am not a filmmaker. It seems like to get on films, you have to have a reel, but to build a reel, you have to have to work on films. How would you advise going about building a reel?
This is so funny. We talked about this the other day, and it's like when you walk into an office, like, hey, I want a job here, and you're like, what's your experience? It's like, yeah, well, I just finished school, I don't have any experience. It's like, all right, cool, well, you can't work here. And it's like everywhere that you knock on, every door that you knock on, it's like, yeah, do you have any experience? And it's like, no, because the last door I knocked on said I need experience. It's like, who's gonna give me the experience needed to work at this place that says I need experience? It's weird. It's a really tough situation. It's not as tough as it may seem. So it's as easy as finding other creatives to collaborate with, like we've mentioned before. Collaboration is key. Being a filmmaker, I feel like it doesn't mean like you shoot. And like, you know, filmmaker can be so much different things. I feel like there's categories to it. If you're an editor, you're still making a film. You know what I mean? You're part of the process. You're helping us get it done. But collaboration is key. Find people that you can possibly collaborate with. There's people out there that do edit that might not like editing. It's as easy as finding, somebody that's doing this by themselves and doesn't have a team, you reach out to them. You can also go online. There's a lot of places online you could get stock footage. You can download movies or download, I'm not advertising pirating, but like you can download clips and like rearrange it, recut it to songs, like make music videos out of like clips just to tell the story. Like you can easily grab a movie, grab one of your favorite songs, and like just rearrange something to make it look like it was a music video. And you can keep it short to like a minute or so. You don't have to do anything extensive, but just something that showcases your talent.
Yeah, definitely. Even I'd say one thing is if you, depending the type of genre you want to get into, if you try to make like a mini documentary, you can easily take clips from everything else, put in your own voiceover, and then like make an actual documentary. So let's say you wanted to do a documentary on, let's say Kendrick Lamar is one of your favorite artists. Grab all his music videos and then kind of find some correlation, find like a storyline that you want to tell, and use those clips from all his music videos and all the stuff that maybe is online about him. And then you can create a little mini documentary that's like 5 minutes long that you voice over, that is technically a story being told, and then boom, you got stuff to work on. Like Will said, get some stock footage, stuff like that. Collaboration is key, like he said. You'll find other people. If you don't shoot at like, there's other ways to get footage. And like, I understand that feeling, because when I really first started shooting or wanting to edit, I kind of came into this wanting to edit first, and I didn't have any footage to work on, so it forced me to have to actually shoot my own footage in order to get stuff to edit. This is like way back, but so that's like out of necessity, right? So again, those are some like tips you can use to see if that works.
DM us on Twitter or Instagram,
yeah, at Filmmakers Society.
Let us know how you're finding things. If it's hard to find stuff, yeah, hit us up on Instagram, DM us. I'm willing to lend you a helping hand, give you some stuff that you can probably mess around with and edit and test out your skills. Not for like my projects personally, but like I'm down to like give you some stock footage that you can probably play around with, just to help you get whatever it is that you need, experience, demo reel, anything.
Hey Tori, so you hear that? So yo, you want to take Will's up on that offer? Make sure you DM us. That's actually perfect. That's like, hey, that's some gold right there, and you're gonna get some dope footage to work with. So, girl or guy, get on that. I wasn't sure. Tori is now such a name that's like can be either. That I'm not sure if it's a male or female. But thank you, Tori, for your question. All right, we have one more question. Actually, we have to touch on. This one's kind of deep, so you know what? We might break this into like maybe next episode as well. But Arthur, we promise that we get your question onto the podcast. So Arthur asks, and it's I am Arthur on Instagram. He said, "Hey guys, how are y'all doing?" We're doing good, thank you. He said, "I started listening to your podcast and it's really good and chill." Well, appreciate that, bro. It's like more chill than Netflix and chill. Anyways, he said, "And I like you guys to speak about pre-production, because for me, the most important part of the production. It's like 70% of the work, it's there. And I like to know how your clients come to you, give you the job, and how do you come with the idea and starting doing the research of the locations, equipment, lens, etc." Okay, hold on. Let's backtrack, because you asked a lot of questions in that one thing. We'll answer half your question, and maybe we'll bring the rest of this till next week. So we'll answer the question of how our clients come to us, and how do we come up with ideas for doing the research for like the project. So clients coming to us, I actually said in one of the earlier episodes that like, because I've been doing work for such a long time and people like know, and I guess from branding and seeing that like, hey, this is what he does, a lot of clients come to me either word of mouth. They see something that I did for someone else, and it's like, hey, so a lot of right now it's word of mouth and like referral clients, or I will actually target people depending on what like subgenre it is. So if it's like, again, let's just say like if you want to do music videos, or you want to do weddings, or you want to do corporate work, I'll put together a bunch of work that looks like that and start shooting it out to those type of people. What about you, Wills?
Getting clients is easy. It's not easy. I don't know. It just depends on your take. We talked about it a little bit in the last podcast, where it's, if you do good work, it circulates. Mm-hmm. You keep doing good work, people are going to come back to you. Put your work out there on a weekly, daily, monthly basis. If you see you're not getting any work, it's because you're actually not putting yourself out there enough. Every time I put something out, I get multiple calls, emails, DMs, and it can be overwhelming sometimes, but you know, just put yourself out there, put your work out there, people will come to you.
It's like fishing. And yeah, the second part of the question was pretty much going into the research of it, but you know what, we're gonna save that for next week because we gotta get into today's topics. But the ending of it, he said, keep doing your thing, you guys' work is amazing, cheers. Thank you so much. I'm Arthur. We're gonna answer part 2 of your question the following week, next week, so make sure you're listening next week to hear the rest of it. And again, thank you guys. Always send your questions. You can DM us at Filmmakers Society on Instagram, and we'll be happy to answer your questions on the podcast. So we're moving now into what today's podcast is about. And today we are talking about how to do it alone, how to do it together, how to do it with a team, kind of moving into the fact of like, when do you know where is the path that you need to take next? You've been doing this for a little while, you've been doing it for a long while, doesn't matter. The number one question right now is, how long can someone actually do it alone?
Okay, so like in terms of doing it alone, it's kind of tough. There's like, everyone's different, everyone's built different, everyone learns at a different rate. All those things matter when it comes to how long can you do it alone. But I don't think at any given time, at any, like, you know, at any step in your career, you can do it all alone. Even when you're beginning and you are doing it all alone, there are going to be major setbacks that you don't realize, but it just boils down to, you know, one of the most important things, budget, how much time you have to turn around something, and also, you know, what you're trying to achieve. So being a filmmaker, when I first came into this, it's like I had one of my closest friends, he does music, and it was like, all right, cool. Well, you know, I like anything that has to do with like visuals. I used to do graphic design. I picked up a camera and I traveled to New York a lot, back and forth, driving with my family. And it's like, I always used to see things and I always just felt to myself like, yo, I want to capture these moments that I'm seeing. Like, I feel like I always seen things through like a frame. Yeah, so it's like I started doing stuff on my own, but then after going on set and seeing what it's like when you do, like when a set comes together, when there's so much different people commanding and doing what they're needed to do, I realized like, holy, like if I really want to step it up to another level, I need to surround myself with people. You need to have people. And that can be like at the beginning, that could be midway, that could be 5 years after you started. Like it's literally, it's on you on how big or how far you want to take these things. 2 heads are better than one always. 3 heads, yeah, but you don't want to have too many chefs in the kitchen. That's what they say. But like, this is one of the things where it's like, you want to be able to gel with people. So it's like, yeah, they say you don't want to have too many chefs in the kitchen, but if you have 20 chefs in the kitchen that are all doing what they need to do, doing their steps, like you will get things done so much better, so much easier, and it'll be so much better. Because it's like, if you have someone salting while someone else is like breading the chicken that you already, like, you know, salted and stuff like that, then it's like you're done the project. You get to focus on what you want to do, and like you have someone else focusing on what they want to do or what they're doing or what they do well. We actually slightly touched on it before, but like, yeah, it can be at any given moment. And sometimes, like with this new generation that we're in, we're able to go buy a camera at like a really cheap price. And yeah, I'm saying cheap because if you really look into it, a real like film camera is like around 60 grand just for the body, just for the brain. I don't even want to say body because it's more than that. At that level, it's like you have a brain, then you have the memory slots, you have the power slots, you have like all these things that a lot of like, people like.
Goddamn, should I buy a car or should I buy this camera?
Yeah, like it's almost like, yeah, do I put a down payment on a house or do I buy a camera? Like it's actually like that. But yeah, we're at this time where so much people are able to get cameras and do everything themselves that we don't realize how efficient and how much better it is to have a full team to direct and focus on that while someone else is focusing on the framing, cinematography, and then having someone focusing on lighting and the grip. Like those things actually kind of matter. But just to like even make it smaller in terms of a team that like you always stick with and like bounce ideas off of, I feel like there's no right time, there's no wrong time. It could be as soon as you start, or it can be, later down the line. But like as soon as you feel like you've hit that, more importantly, to answer the question directly, as soon as you feel like you've hit that wall and like you're not progressing, start looking to have other people around you that you can bounce ideas off of, and specifically people around that will help elevate your game.
Yeah, it's funny when you said that, like having people around you, and it's like having more people, like more chefs in the kitchen and whatever, it's too much. It's like, yeah, it's like control. It's like people don't want to give up control, and that's the part where it's like, how long can I do it alone for? It's like, how long can I keep this control going? Because it's like you have like visions in your mind, and it's like, when you're doing it by yourself, like you can get it done exactly how you want to do it, you know what I mean? But then it's like when you gotta bring other people in, it comes to trust, and it's like, do you trust this person? You know what I mean? Like I even said to you, like the only time I really trust certain people is like you to like do other shoots, like other than if I'm not doing it, you know what I mean? Like if I have someone that's shooting and it's like I'm not watching at all, like Will's is the only person I'll be like, yo, I'm cool with this guy, like my back's turned, I'm not looking, I know that he's gonna get the type of shots I want, right? But that just comes from trust and like knowing you and working with you and stuff like that, right? It's like when to do it alone is like when you find someone also, when not to do it alone is when you can also find someone you could trust that you can work with, or example, a team that you can work with, like Will was saying. Yeah, I say it's true, but it's like when you want to give up control, because it's hard to give up control sometimes, especially in like the creative field. Like you just feel like it might not be exactly what you want, and then you're like, no, but
learn what you're best at and learn where you need help and get that help. I mean, I feel like that's a big thing. Yeah, trust is key. There's only, trust, man. Trust is a big one. You got, like, for me personally, like you said, it's like you're probably one of the only other people I trust, and it's like I've been blessed to, like, to get dropped into, or I don't even want to say dropped, to find my way into this creative world in Toronto, where there's a lot of like-minded people around me. I was lucky to get accepted into Remix Project, which actually like, blossomed a lot of relationships with people that I've learned with, I've developed talents with, and we've bounced ideas off of each other. One of my partners, Chad, that actually I've been shooting with recently as well, like watching his growth is crazy, because it's like we came into like, we've met each other a while ago, then one day he's like, yo, let's shoot something, and after we shot this commercial that was for like a multi-million-dollar company, or incorporation I should say, and then after that campaign went live overseas, like in Asia or something, and then it's like we didn't really talk much after that, and then after like we did one little job, like he was on set and he's like, yo, come out. He said, come out, they're looking for like extra people to shoot. And like even being on set, it's like seeing like him navigate and work it, I'm like, okay, sick. I'm like, it was something where I'm like, yo, this guy has strengths where I have weaknesses. And it's like one of those things you have to realize, like, all right, cool, what's your strengths, what's your weaknesses? You can't grow until you know that. There's that. And like you said, like being able to trust people to bring them in. So then after, I'm like, yo, let's do some work together. Let's like do some more stuff together. So even from that, now it's like his strengths and my weaknesses came together. We're doing like certain stuff that's better. And like even being around each other, and I guess him seeing me shoot, I've seen his shooting increase like tenfold. My business senses have increased tenfold. It's like no one can come to me and say certain things anymore. I'm just like, all right, cool, close conversation, or all right, cool, like, if these are my expectations, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking, if you're not down with it, cool, peace. Like, and not to be rude, but like you got to set standards for yourself, and it's like all those things. It's like there's actually so much to it, but it's like, yeah, it's like being blessed to be like in that community. It's like you learn to trust, you meet new people, and after it's like you start building teams, you build relationships, and then you like bring people into like, to do the things that you're not good at, or like, I don't want to say the things you don't want to do, because that sounds lazy, but it's like the things you're not good at, you're not going to want to do it. So exactly. It's like, you're not going to want to do the things you're not good at. So it's like, if you're not good at like, paperwork and writing treatments and stuff, but you have good ideas, get the ideas down, find someone that's good, get somebody that can like do it for
turn
you.
It into like, a beautiful portfolio.
Yeah,
RFP.
like there's, man, I feel like I've worked with quite a few people. There's only like 2 or 3 people, including Josh, that like I would be like, yeah, yo, I can't make this shoot. Do you want to go do it? Like the other day I had to do that, but it's like first one on the list. I'm like, yo, Josh, I'm out of town. You want to do this shoot? You know, so he goes on and does the shoot. I get the footage and I'm like, all right, cool. Like I know what I'm getting. It's like I'm sending myself out to shoot, but I'm not shooting. You know, so it's like I don't have to worry about anything. We've been doing this together for like a few years now. So it's like, all right, cool. Like we're obviously gonna have like tendencies that are very similar, tendencies that are different. But it's like at the end of the day, like I know like I'm gonna get what I need to get. He knows what I want when I'm editing. He knows what my videos look like. All right, cool. Let me make sure I get these frames.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So it's like trusting people and then like kind of, I guess, feeling it out. But then like when to go like solo, when to know that like create a team. Stop being solo anymore.
That comes down to that. Like I said, that comes down to budget. If someone doesn't have the budget for you to split,
oh yeah, there's that too.
If it doesn't, that was the first thing I said. Like if someone doesn't have the budget for you to actually have a team and to get a production, so it's like you have to know what you want out of that project, and that's like, it's like some of these things are very reoccurring where it's like, yo, you need to know what you want. Always, you need to know what you want. If this works for you, if it doesn't, and if it does, like the budget doesn't work for you, but it works for you and you can find a way to make it work, then like, yo, make it work. Get it done. But like, just know like if you do call one of your boys, you're either going to have to give him all the money, you're going to have to tell him the situation, he's going to agree to a split, or and like even when you split, it's like, someone comes to you with a $500 video and you're trying to split $500. Like when you think about it, it's like, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, yeah.
So then you're like, what am I gonna do? Give my boy $100? Because I don't want anything less than $300. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna give him $200, and it's like, oh, like, yo, I give him $200, but like, then I don't have gas money or food for like this and that, because like this, like, you know, if you can't take enough jobs, you can't take enough $300 jobs, to be honest, because then it's like you're swarmed. Like in order for you to be okay off of $300 jobs. In a month, you have to take so much, especially with the cost of living these days. It's like you have to take so much $300 job that you don't even have time to edit.
Yeah, you're just gonna die. Like,
so then you still have to pay someone to edit, and then it's like, yo, what are you left with? $200? Like, there's only so much good people. There's very few good people, and then at that point, you have to find students and stuff like that that will do it for free. There's no like. Anyone that's good and knows their worth isn't going to want to do it for free. Yeah.
So it's like at the end of the day, like you're saying with budgets, like you got to have clients that's like paying something that's worth it.
There's a triangle. Quality is quality, time, and budget. You can't have all three. Choose one. Yeah. And with budget, I mean like you can't have a low budget. Like, you know.
You got to choose either one or the other. Either you get good quality and like high price, or like crap ass quality and low price.
Yeah, and then after it's like turnaround time. Don't say, yo, I have $300, I want amazing quality and I want it next week. All right, cool. You can give me $300. I'll give you like amazing quality at what $300 can get you. You know what I mean? But just know, because you did that and you like you didn't really value my time to be like $300 4 hours, like, you know, 4 hours and I need you to edit. Like, you know, there's minimums, there's requirements, there's half day rates, full day rates, there's the things that people don't see, and we talked about it before, where it's like, I'm not trying to edit with you over my shoulder watching me work, because then it's like, it's kind of weird. Like me personally, I have a process and I have a way where I kind of like, I can process what I shot and what I've done and what the plan is when I skim through shit. But if someone's there watching me and like I'm trying to skim through, but they don't understand, they can't comprehend, they can't process it, and they're like, yo, slow down, can you go back? It's slowing me down now. So now it's like, it's not a 5 hour, 8 hour edit. It's becoming like a 24 hour edit, because I have to slow down for you to process it now. Yeah, man. You know? So like, yeah. It's crazy, man. Like, yeah.
But this is why a lot of people, when they end up doing like projects and working on videos, they end up working with like corporations, end up working with big businesses, because it's like, you can't really, it's sad to say, and it's like what you said earlier about you don't want to say that the other person's like project's small or the other artist is small, but like technically it's like, it is small, because like if they're saying $300, it's like it can't do it. It's not possible to have a team with that.
There's tiers to it. There's definitely tiers to it. There's like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Like, you know, I don't like no one's project is smaller in terms of, you know what? It's all about
like, are you talking about more in a sense of like their passion or their ideas is no smaller than anybody else's just because of money?
Yeah, kind of that. But it's like, it's just like, you know, if you're coming from, it's kind of like the sense of, if you're coming from a rich house and then you don't have as much, like, you don't have as much money as your parents, so now you're living in the thing, you're like, oh, I'm so stressed, I'm broke, I'm poor, I don't have anything. But it's like, no, it's like, you just think you're poor because your mindset is like coming from this. So it's like, but look at an actual poor person. If they were living in like anything, like, you know, a small box, not a literally small box, but like a small room, they'll be like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. This is amazing. This is like a mansion. This is my castle. You know what I mean? It's all about, it's all perspective.
Yeah.
It's all perspective to like you and like what's valuable to you. So it's like, someone can come to me with a fashion film and say, yo, I have $800. What can we do with this? And it's like, yo, amazing. Great. We're going to make something amazing because like the scale of what it is, perspective of, you know, what it is compared to like you. And it's like, yo, we'll make that look like a Christian Dior and Rihanna collab just based off of like, you know, and that's how you're gonna feel about it. That's how you're, but like once, like, and no offense to them to like knock them down a tier, but it's like once those companies like Christian Dior and Rihanna come to you like, yo, we're doing a collab, we want you to do a commercial, they're gonna have more budgets for us to do like dramatic lightings and like certain stuff. So it's like, it's going to appear like, oh my God, this is like so much better. But it's like, yeah, it's all perception. It's like, also because those brands have those names, like everyone's going to be like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's such a big commercial. But it's like, all right, cool. Like, you know, the only reason I was able to charge them $500,000 was because they're Christian Dior and Rihanna. Like,
again, now it's like, it goes back to pretty much also like, I'd say, structure of where you want to be. Like last week, how we were talking about, like, if you're going full-time freelance, then technically, yeah, you're not going to be able to be taking $300 jobs and like really go full-time with it. But like realistically, like how we were saying last week, where it's like, if you're going full-time with this, realistically, you're going to be taking projects that are going to be like 2,000-3,000, etc. And you're going to be working more with like brands and corporate stuff, which might not be with the artists and the creative things. So like the more things that are less fun, less creative, and it's going to be more structured and just like dry content. But at the end of the day, it's like, whatever. If you want to create a team, if you want to work with a team, it's like, you're going to have to be able to feed that team. And that's where it kind of like the next point that I kind of want to touch on is that limbo space, when it's like, okay, I've been doing freelance for a while, I'm making good money, everything's fine, but now I'm expanding. Do I continue to do it by myself? Do I go work somewhere, or do I start like have a full-fledged business where I start hiring people? Like that limbo space where a lot of people end up between after a while. Like you've been doing it for a while. Like let's say you've been doing it freelance, you're making like a good amount of money all year, you're fine, you're doing a lot of projects.
What's actually crazy? Sorry to cut you off. What's actually crazy is that limbo space, I feel like I'm coming up to it. But the answers are the answers are slowly but steadily coming to me. Life comes at you fast, as like we say, like a few people say, and it's hilarious when we say it. In the context that we use it in, it's actually drastically different, but it's so funny. But yeah, life does come at you fast. It's kind of like what I consider that limbo space really is like when you can probably still freelance, but like find jobs to go work at, or like companies to work with. So like, for instance, I'm freelancing, but if a production company or like a company comes up to me and they're like, yo, we want to do some work with you, I think it helps to get set experience. So the best thing to do is like, you know, work with them type of vibe. But this nigga's pouring juice. Yeah, that I feel like the limbo space and like finding a way to expand is more of finding a way to integrate yourself into communities and workspaces or spaces that can help you meet new people to expand. But also help you learn. Like, this is an ongoing thing. Like, you're never gonna know everything. You're always learning, especially if you learn to do this by yourself. Even if you went to school, technology is always advancing. The textbook's always changing. There's new tools that come out every week, every month, every year, you know. So you can never sit there and say you know everything. Anyways, you know, some 20-year-old is gonna come around and he's gonna know something that the 50-year-old's not gonna know, and vice versa, and like he's gonna teach them something. And as long as you keep your brain open to that, like you're always gonna learn. But yeah, that limbo space, I think it's where you find a way to integrate yourself, meet new people, so that you can build, but like also learn. So like, yeah, once you're done, I don't even want to say done, because you're gonna continue freelancing. You're always gonna be freelancing, but go find somewhere where you can put yourself temporary. And in this industry, everyone knows like you're not here to stay, especially if your talents are where they're at. Go find like a production company to collaborate with. You're gonna meet people on set that, you know, aren't doing what they want to do as yet, but they're trying to find a way. Because that, like we talked about before, that's like one of the beginning stages. Like some people I should say, some people start off, they're in production companies just doing PA work, and they're just there like lifting boxes and helping people move stuff, but they're young creatives, and then they're just looking for other creatives. They find them there. So, you know, depending on like what your situation is, always get yourself back in those spaces so that you can meet new people that are trying to get out of those spaces and trying to expand and trying to grow themselves. Because everyone in those spaces are actually doing exactly what you're doing.
They're just on a journey.
Yeah, like they're just trying to make money. They're probably not getting as much work. So it's like I'm like, you know, I'm not as accomplished as I feel like I should or could be or whatever. Like, I don't know. I probably could if I work harder. Everyone can work harder, but it's like, yeah, if I work harder, I can be like 10 times better. But it's like, if I want to get to a certain stage, like I just got to keep on like, you know, integrating myself into little communities and little like productions, and like going PAing. Like, I ultimately want to be a great director from Toronto. And it's like, one thing that resonated with me is like one of my boys, he's like, yeah, man, I put my pride aside and I PA. Like when we collaborate, he's like, yeah, I put my pride aside and I PA for you. Like, there's only two of us working. Like, who else is gonna do it? If you're focusing on like doing this and this, like, yo, I'm gonna focus on doing this and this, because like it's your shoot, and vice versa. And it doesn't matter if you're doing it for like a small 3-man team or if you're doing it with a 20-man team. You know, you gotta put your pride aside sometimes and like go do the nitty-gritty stuff so that you meet new people, you gain experiences, you learn new techniques, and then like from that, it's like you expand, and then you can make your own company, your production company, whatever it is. Yeah. You know, like that's the best thing. Like, I had a meeting the other day, and like they're telling me, they're like, yeah, you know, we had our own little production company, we were working on it, and I was working on another production company and just like learning what they're doing. Yeah. So that way it's like, all right, cool, peace out. I'm going to go do my own thing now, because I learned and I've met people. Yeah. So now I'm just going to go expand and do, like, I'm going to do my own thing. And like, if I ever need something, like,
they're there.
And I've met people like, and I feel like as long as like you're very humble, you're very, I'm trying to find the right word. Yeah. As long as you're humble, as like, you know, as the mentor or as the quote unquote bigger company, is like, yeah, as long as you're humble, as long as like you're not trying to like stifle anybody and like be like, nah, man, you can't leave and do anything, you're nothing without me. Like, as long as you're not that person and like you're trying to help me grow, even like if I'm gonna do my own business, I'm never gonna try to undercut you. I have friends that are doing stuff that I want to be doing, and I know people, and I'm like, I can easily be like, yo, bro, let me shoot that video instead. But because I respect that person, I'm not going to be like, yo, let me shoot that. Like, who cares about my boy? But
like, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like morals. It's just like, again, character, ethics. People, like, there's good people in every single realm at the end of the day. And it's like, you have to have like kind of like business ethics at the end of the day. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not going to go, and there's just so much work to be done in this world that's like, you don't have to undercut or cut through someone else's shit. But like, one thing I was also saying was with the limbo thing, and you said too, it's like I'm kind of feel like as well, like I'm coming up to that stage where it's like, okay, where do I go now from here, in the sense of, do I continue to freelance and on a per project basis, or do I hire people and like now have a full-fledged like a bunch of employees that not just, because the thing is like, okay, yeah, like at the state right now, it's like I can like, I have a project comes, I can call a team and call you, call like a couple other people, whatever, and have like enough people and then pay everyone's good. But it's like now having employees, it's like a different mind state where it's like, yo, you gotta take care of these people every single day. Like an employee, like that's their salary every single day. It's like a different mind state, right? And it's like a lot of people are like in that limbo stage now between like, all right, do I continue to freelance, or now do I start a company where I have 10 editors and 10 cinematographers and 10 producers and 10 whatever, you know what I mean? But it's like, that's a whole different ballgame now, because now it's like you are responsible for these people and their livelihood, and you kind of move out of the creative side from that and you move more into business. So one thing, if you guys are listening out there are like more business minded than you are creative, like you're kind of like a business person moonlighting as a creative, that's kind of, I think the lane you should be going as, like finding talent, hiring talent and whatnot, because that's going to be like easier for you to pretty much run a business and maybe to actually make the actual creations. And like you're saying before, yeah, like I even like work with a production company as well, doing in-house video editing, you know what I mean? So it's like, there's also that point now that is like people sometimes kind of want to like just create, you know what I mean? They don't want to just fully have to focus on the business part, because the business part, like we talked about last week, is very like, it can be very extensive. It can take a lot on you. And it's like sometimes people just don't want to worry about that. They're like, I don't want to do paperwork. I don't want to do taxes. I don't want to do all that. I just want to be able to just go into my editing program. I want to take out my camera and just create. Those people, it's like, all right, maybe you should just focus on getting a job within a production company and staying there rather than freelancing, because freelancing now is like a part where it's like, shoot, you're going to have to focus on everything and be like all around.
You might just find that production company that you fit in properly. Like, you know, freelancing, it's, you know, that's what I do right now, because like there's nothing that fits for me. So it's like, instead of finding that fit, I'm trying to create that fit. But, you know, in shopping around, even like, because, you know, money's not as good freelancing, or you're in limbo and you're trying to build relationships, and you go to a production company or you start working for someone, and like the fit is perfect, like don't fight it. Just try to work within that. And like, you know, especially if the fit's perfect, that those people are going to be open to any suggestions or anything. They'll respect you as a creative, as a shooter, whatever it is, and you'll be able to build with them. You'll be able to flourish. You'll be able to get your bills paid, like all that type of stuff. You know, they'll take the suggestions, and they will be able to do, like, as filmmakers, we love creating, and that's what we love to do first and foremost. So if you have someone that's down, like, not, I don't even want to just say down, if you have someone that's there to like help do the books and like all that stuff, and you don't have to worry about it, then like
that's, that system set in place already.
Yeah, let's like it's there. Like let them do it and just focus on doing what you do. Like there will be a point in time where you will get to sit across the desk from them and really set your standards, your rates, and like certain stuff like that, I guess. I personally don't know how the system works, because I never followed the system. I was horrible at the school system. I never, like, after school, I was just like, yo, I never want to be in any type of system. I got a part-time job and I hated it. Like, you know, and I just like
F all systems.
I'm like, yeah, I'm pro F the system. It's weird. Like, a lot of people don't agree with some of the things that I say or do. Maybe like a lot of people don't agree with things I say or do, especially like older generations, and after they're like, what the fuck? Like, people might be listening to this right now like, this guy's fucking crazy. He's probably like living in the corner somewhere. Like, hey, where did Josh find this guy? Everyone on his YouTube is like, yo, that guy is so uncensored. He's a potty mouth.
No matter how, if you're anti-system, it hasn't affected you in the way that you're living now.
No, it hasn't affected me.
You're able to build your own system within a system.
Yeah, so like, yeah, you're gonna find something that works for you. Sometimes you just gotta find a system that works for you. It might be your own system that you make. It might be a system that you find 10, 20, 30 years from, like, you know, when you start freelancing. But there's always gonna be a fit there for you somewhere. But yeah, like that whole limbo thing, it's like just find spaces that can help get you out of it, that can help you build that production or just get you to the next step that you need to get to.
And be self-aware too, because like I feel like a lot of people do that shit out of ego and pride and flexing. Like, oh man, I'm at this level, I definitely gotta start like a big ass production company.
If you have time to flaunt and share shit like that, then you're not doing anything.
Or like, you know what I mean? But the thought process of like, oh, like I've been doing this, the next level is like obviously gonna be like me making a studio with like at least 10 employees, and like they're not thinking in the sense of like what's good for them, but they're thinking of like what looks good on the outside. You know what I mean?
I can't tell you right now, but like there's probably so much big productions that don't have how, like, you know, like have a studio or something. Like I don't think that's not a requirement.
No,
I think it's weird. There's different steps for different people. You might be able to read a book faster than the next person, but that person might be able to do something better and faster than you. You know what I mean?
You gotta be aware and be like what works for you, and
exactly.
be like self-aware at the end of the day. Like don't try to just like don't jump the gun. And the thing is, like at the end of the day right now, because freelancing is the barrier to entry is like kind of low right now to get into that kind of stuff. It's like instead of people thinking about, hey, you know what, let me work on my skill and then maybe get a job within production, like at another production company before starting their own, they jump straight to starting their own. Although I do understand a lot of people start their own because it's like, it's hard to get a job. You know what I mean? Like,
because everyone wants you to have experience, but no one wants to give you the experience.
That
right?
too, right? Or at the end of the day, you have to just be good. And that's the thing. Like if you're just starting out or you've just been doing this for a while, it's probably 10 times easier for you to start your own freelancing like video company or whatever than it is to actually get a job in a production company, because there's so many, a lot of these companies have like one criteria they want you to fill. Again, like you said, experience, or they want you to have like a film degree, or they want you to have like all this different stuff, or it's like they just have to have good
kick the door down, send them a Vimeo link, tell them that, you know what, my experience isn't measured by my high school diploma or my you know, bachelor's degree or bachelor's in this or master's. Like, no, man, my experience comes from me actually working. Send them stuff and just, kick down the door sometimes. Really like force your way in. Be like, if someone asks you, have you ever studied this? It's like, yeah, you know, I did this. Here, look at my work. And after when they look at your work, they can't go back and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. We're like, York, you taught you this? It's like, no, actually I taught myself, YouTube University, you know, we're in a different generation now. So it's like,
and that is the thing. And I think a lot of people do understand that we are in a different generation, some production companies, but at that point in like, you're at a point where you just kind of, you don't want to be grinding all day. You don't want to have to worry about clients all day. It's like, okay, then get a job within a production company. And I know,
what's actually crazy now that kind of like, I'm thinking about it. It's like some things just come to you. So, you know, some people are like, yeah, what's your experiences, this and that, XYZ. But what I'm finding a lot now is that people are seeing my work and then they're asking, where did I learn how to do everything? And then when you tell them that you learned it yourself, they're like, oh, they have like this look on their face. They're like, amazing. That's great. Okay, cool. And after they continue the conversation. So it's like, a lot of the times, even it's hard when you go to somebody, but when you go to them, you gotta elevator pitch. You gotta like direct them straight to your work instead of having too much of a conversation. About, you know, like your past life or whatnot. Just like try to get straight to the work. Yeah, especially when it comes to like looking for a job. Try to get straight to the work so that once they see the work, then they can ask you everything else. Because I went into boardrooms where I'm like, hey, this is my name. Here, check my workout. Yeah. They check your workout. Then you start talking about yourself, start talking about stuff. They're like, all right, yeah, cool. So, you know, what's your experiences? Like, I seen like you've done this for like this company and this company. It's like, where did you go to school? It's like, yeah, you know, I just sat in my basement, my parents' basement, and just learned everything on YouTube and like experiencing, like, you know, through shooting. That's my experience. And I have 9 years of experience because I spent 9 years shooting. Instead of 9 years like reading a book. Like you tell me what's more important right now. Like, because you just seen my work. So that's on you now. It is.
Because even like, like I went to school for business administration marketing, and I've never once had to show that paper to like anything in film. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's like at one point I did think about going to film school after. And it was like,
I thought about it.
Yeah, I thought about it. And I was like, one, money was like so expensive. It was like the one I was looking at was $11,000 a year. And that doesn't even include like getting the camera you need and like other stuff.
It was like 70 something. I was trying to, I was actually, at one point I was trying, no, man, no.
Here?
Yeah. I was actually trying to go to Vancouver, and I was like, it would have racked me up like 75 for like
that was supposed to be like one of the best though, actually. Like
Vancouver Film School, yeah.
Then the day it's like, it's super expensive. So it's like a very big decision to make. And on top of that, like it's every person that I've seen talk about film school, they said either it's been great because of the connections they made, not necessarily what they learned in school. Everything else they said they learned, they could have learned on their own. It was the connections of like actually knowing someone who has a job on set here, or like all these people are going to eventually be in the industry, and like you can call people up, and that's the thing, right? Yep. But to each its own. Like at the end of the day, you know, you get to where you need to get to either way, whether it's through film school or not, right? But it's just like if you're trying to like create without having to focus on the business side, yeah, getting a job within the production company is your best route. But like, I know it's easier said than done. Like us saying that right now, it's easy for us to say that because it's like our work is great. People actually want it and are willing to hire us. Again, if you guys are just starting, like some of you are in different parts of the world. Like,
let me just say something. If you're just starting, it's 10 times easier than if you've like really established yourself. And I do say that because a lot of people
get a job.
Oh yeah. A lot of people are scared to hire people that are as good as us. Oh shoot,
yeah. This is a different. Okay, yeah. Continue, because that's
a lot of people are actually scared to hire people like us because we come in, we do amazing work, and then people are like looking at names. They're like, once they look through credits and they're looking at names and stuff like that, and they're like, yo, who is this guy? They check your stuff, and then after it's like, if you leave, sometimes I guess clients can quote unquote leave with you or whatever, or like companies are scared that you're gonna take their clients because like I said earlier, it's like they know you're not there for good, you know, they know you're just here doing your thing as a creative. So it's like,
I like that, bringing it back.
Yeah, man. It's like, yo, people are just like, and then after it also rules down to like people being petty and like not hiring you and like feeling a certain way. But like, yo, if you show love, like I'll always show love towards you. Don't ever like, you respect me, I respect you. Like everyone's like, yeah, show respect to get respect, but like sometimes it goes both ways. Like, how am I gonna respect you if we're both at a standstill looking at each other? Like, are you gonna respect me first? And it's like, you know. So it's like sometimes like you gotta take that step, and like I mean it goes both ways. Sometimes you just gotta take that step and be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna respect you until you disrespect me. But after it's like, that person also needs to like respect you until you disrespect them, type thing, or whatever the case might be. But like sometimes people are like, they're not gonna respect you until you respect them. But it's like, all right, cool, why do you deserve my respect?
Yeah, that's, you know,
like, what I mean? Like,
that's just like human behavior.
What did you
Some
do?
People are just more entitled.
That is
thinking.
A human behavior thing. But yeah, like if you forever like show love, respect me, that type of vibe, I'm never gonna like we just said, I'm never gonna undercut you. I'm never gonna want to like disrespect you. But like, there's going to be times where like say you're working with someone in this production company setting, and the budget for that production company is 50 G's, and at that time you as a corporation or company has 50 G's to spend to get that work done, because obviously it's a bigger team or whatever. But now for like something smaller, you only have like 5 to 10 grand. And it's like, obviously that production company is not going to want to take it. So then they're looking for alternatives. But it's like, oh, cool, I just seen Jay left. Let's talk, or it's like whatever. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take that 10 grand job. I might take that 50 grand job too, but like, you know, I might try to find a way to route it back to you in some way and be like, hey man, is there some way we can work on this? Because like together, my team's not as big, your team is there some way that you want to work on this together? Like, do you want to, like, and like that boils down to like, all right, cool, we still respect each other, you're gonna want to keep me in the loop or not. Like, that's up to you to like shake my hand on that or spit on it. Like, if you spit on it, just know the next time they offer me 50 G's, I'm not coming back to you. I'm just gonna like be like, oh, cool, you remember Tim? You remember, you know, that guy? Like, yeah, yo, Tim, like, come through. Like, you know, they just hit me. They said they got 50 G's. I'll give you more than what they're giving me. It's like, you know.
And it's true what you said too about like, like I was saying, like, it's probably easier for us to get a job within production companies, but it's true in the sense of, like, people are kind of intimidated when you come, because like you see your work, they see that you're amazing, like, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, like this person can come and like just take my clients or whatnot. And it's like, it might be easier for you to actually have no experience and jump into it and actually get a job. But it depends how you market yourself, right? Like at this point, it's like, and like what you're just saying, like it's like almost collaborating with the production company, where it's like, hey, let's just do this and work a way out. And that's the thing, when you move forward and you get to that, you know what, to answer the question or to answer the topic before about when you are trying to go balance between freelance or going to your own actual full-fledged business, I think the next bridge step between that is collaborating with other production companies. Find a company that's bigger than you, that has the power, the production behind it to actually do those things, and you can work with them to work on projects in the middle, rather than you taking on a huge project where you don't necessarily have the team or the actual manpower or the actual like production stuff to do it. You know what I mean? And then you just like work in the middle there until you're ready to make that jump. But it's like in between, when you're in limbo, that could be a good, like, collaborating with other production companies. But then it goes back to trust. You got to find someone that is willing to trust you, understand that you have a good person, a good character, and you're not going to like try to steal from their clients or anything, like steal their clients or anything like that. But you're there to just work with them.
The reason why I would say production companies is only because like you'll have a check at the end of a week or end of 2 weeks or whatever, and you'll be like, steady pay while you're trying to like, get to the next step. Yeah,
you can create and like live.
Exactly.
And not worry.
And like, you still have free time to do other stuff and like make your money on, because in a production company, a production setting, it's still very much like freelance, but they obviously get more consistent work from like certain clients that are reoccurring. But yeah, you still do have downtime to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because I know it's a lot of production companies, they have their like time period of like, they'll actually sign people to like 2-3 year contracts. Where so it's like it is reoccurring 100%. Like they don't do it just like, you know what I mean? Like I've worked with a production company before where they've signed someone to a 5-year contract, a company to a 5-year contract. Like if you really think about it, you're like, you're good for the next 5 years with that company. Like obviously anything could happen, it can be amended, but like realistically the contract states that like you have them for 5 years, which is like good. So it's like just that, what's the word I'm looking for? When you have not a cushion, but for lack of a better word, that safety net, that you have some sort of security, I guess, when it comes to working within another company. And that way it allows you to create and stuff like that. So actually that's a good question for this week. We want to know how many of you guys are actually either freelancing or you're running your own business and you have employees, or you're like working for another production company. And how did you go about, like, if you are working with a production company, how'd you go about getting that job? Did you like show them your own personal work, or are you coming straight out of school or whatnot? We kind of want to know your guys' backgrounds and where you guys are coming from.
Yeah. Also, like, what are your setbacks? We answered a question today that I feel was very, very helpful, even offering something that could help that person. So like if you have any struggles, if you have any setbacks, and like you feel like you can't find the answers online, or you can't find somebody that can help you get to like whatever the next level or whatnot, that you feel you can ask us. We might not have the answers to everything, but we can definitely try. We can definitely offer any alternatives to getting things done, because that's what it's about out here. That's what, like, I personally want to change like the way that things are done. I want to be able to collaborate with people. I want people to feel like they're supported. It's a different time. A lot of people are greedy with information, greedy with like their skill sets, but I'm definitely open to helping people learn, get better, and like opening doors for them as well.
Yeah, man, because honestly, there's a lot of things out there that you guys won't have answers to. You know what I mean? There's not going to be any answer anywhere. And like, we've experienced so many things, like just in the time we've been doing like all this film work, and like ups, downs, highs, lows, like almost like everything. Or we've know people that have experienced the same thing. So maybe we can give you some insight. And like Will said, we might not know everything, but we're here to like, give a lending ear, give some support, give some insight, or maybe just someone to listen to. If you guys need to vent, hit us up. We want to listen to you vent, because honestly, there's been times where I have vented and I just needed an ear, you know what I mean? And sometimes you just need to like kind of get it out. So whether it's like a client, whether it's a situation, whether it's whatever, you guys can hit us up, let us know like, damn, what you going through, and we be here to kind of just like, you know what? Don't worry, settle yourself, my youth, because eventually it'll all work out. Irie. But yeah, anything else other than that for today?
No, man. Next week we'll probably touch on a few different things.
Tori Tatter, make sure you reach out on the Instagram DM at Filmmakers Society, because Wills was saying that like he'll help you out with that whole the editing problem that you don't have no footage to work on, and he'll set you straight. So make sure you send us a DM on the Filmmakers Society Instagram page, and so we get in contact with you. Yeah.
So if there's any questions that we didn't answer, if there's anything that you're, any information that you want, just let us know. Hit us up, DM us, hit up Josh on the YouTube, hit the comments, anything, man. We're here. We're, at Filmmakers Society. That's FILMMAKERS SOCIETY.
Yes.
Or, if you feel like hitting us up individually for whatever reason, jwills.co. And
mine is at customatic, or you can also leave something on the YouTube channel at customatic, and just leave a whole written response if you want as well in the comments.
Ooh.
So other than that is it for today's episode of the Secret Filmmakers Society Podcast. Listen to all my secret filmmakers that are part of this most exclusive but inclusive tribe. We love y'all, and we just want to let you guys know.
Keep the community growing. Share this, like it, do all those good things, and we out.
Have a great week. Peace.